and they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say.
Yo, what's up with your boy Marcus Willis
And Devin Jackson.
Fat Boxing Show. Look who we got in the building. Tiara Brown, Fort Myers zone, just won the women's NABO, WBO North American world title, or North American title. What happened in that fight, T?
Oh man, you know, my camp, we trained real hard. So really, when it came time to fight, we just went out there and handled business. A lot of people say, "Well, you playing around the first 3 rounds?" I'm like, not really playing, but kind of like just feeling her out because I already knew from the weigh-in that she wasn't ready.
Yeah.
I knew because I take boxing so serious, and when I have an opponent that gets on the scale and loses from the scale already, I know I'm gonna demolish you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not even dedicated enough to make the weight, you don't deserve to win the fight.
True.
And what date was that fight?
It was what's the date? Today's June 1st. It was May 18th.
May 18th. So she won the women's WBO North American title May 18th. So on to big and better things. She signed with Udabella. What do we have coming up next?
I'm hoping to fight in August. I like to fight.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of my last fight, I was like, all right, I can fight next week.
Yeah.
You know, I stay in the gym, I stay working out, I just stay prepared.
Ooh. So what do you think about women's boxing right now? The direction that it's going? You think it's getting enough exposure? Is it getting more exposure than it did back in the day? What's your thoughts on women's boxing right now?
I don't think that women's boxing is getting enough exposure that it's getting, but it is getting more exposure than it has been getting. So I'm grateful for that. You know, I mean, now you have women fighting on ESPN, on PBC network. You know, they're live streaming women's boxing. They didn't used to do any of this stuff. So you know, I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
I think we do deserve more exposure like the men. I understand that, you know, we live in a world where people feel that boxing is still just a man's sport, but it's not, you know. But I am grateful for the exposure that we are getting now.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, me and Marcus have to discuss this a couple
It
times.
was right here. It was right here.
It's coming out.
I already know where you at.
Yeah. We want to know, from a woman's perspective, because we know how we feel about it, and I'm sure you'll agree. What do you think about the 2 minutes? And do you think it should be 3 minutes? And do you also think it should be bumped up from 10 rounds to 12?
I feel that it goes back to a lot of people feel that women still shouldn't be boxing. But when it comes to equality, I understand that, you know, a lot of people feel that women shouldn't box. But at the same time, I feel that a lot of women would like to go 3 minutes.
We agree.
I think a lot of women would like to go 12 rounds. You know, I wouldn't mind either way because in my head, I'm getting you out of there as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So if we go 12, that would be great. You know, to go 3 minutes, that would be great as well because I know a lot of women actually spar 3 minute rounds.
Yeah.
Like when I fight, when I train, we train off 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And only up till maybe 2 weeks before the fight, the sparring will go to 2 minutes just so I can know to get my punch count up, you know. But outside of that, we train for 3 minute rounds.
Yeah.
I think it would be a lot more knockouts, you know,
I agree.
in women boxing if they extend those 3 minutes. And just like you've been an athlete all your life, you're probably in better shape than a lot of men out there. So 3 minutes wouldn't be a problem, you know, for a lot of women that are training like you because you're a warrior just like us. So you're coming in, putting that time in the gym, your endurance is on point. There's no reason that women shouldn't fight 3 minutes.
I agree. There has been a lot of talk actually that women should go 3 minutes, and I think sooner or later they are going to bump it up to 3 minutes. Even if they don't do 12 rounds and keep it at 10 rounds, I still do believe that eventually, probably coming soon, we'll be fighting 3 minute rounds.
I think women deserve it, you know. They work hard. Some of the best fights I've seen so far this year have been female fights.
Exactly.
They go at it.
Exactly.
And it's because we feel that we have a lot to prove. And we do because we still have people who, you know, social media, what do you call them, trolls,
Yeah.
who say that women shouldn't box, women should be in the kitchen and cooking. I mean, I can cook and clean too, but I'm gonna lace up these gloves and throw these hands.
Yep.
You know, we can cook, we can eat after.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, that's my outlook on it.
Yeah. And I know you had a question about some.
So I saw Katie Taylor. I like Katie Taylor. And I do think she's beatable, but she's a very good fighter. And from what I saw Saturday, I think she got a little bit exposed. And I know she's just one weight class above you, so How do you feel about that? Do you have your sights on her?
Well, me and Katie actually are really good friends.
Mhm.
We grew up in the amateurs together. So my opinion might be a little biased. I'm gonna throw that out there. I mean, I'm human, and you know, as fans and you know friends, I think that people are being a little too harsh to Katie because there have been other fights this year that could have gone either way,
Right.
and social media hasn't bashed them as much as they're bashing Katie. And I think that they're bashing Katie because she is the face of women boxing. But Katie has never been the athlete that has done trash talking to anyone, called out names, really, you know. So I don't really know. She's a very humble fighter. She's a humble person in general. She's a Christian. I remember we met in 2012 when I won the gold medal in China. And her father, which was her coach at that time, came up to me and told me that they know who I am. And I've been boxing for 18 years now. And for the icon of women boxing to come up to me and tell me that she knows who I am and they've been following my career, that meant a lot to me, you know. She's a very humble person. And I saw the fight. I think the fight was amazing. I think we need more fights like that.
That was a crazy fight.
You know, I think we need more fights like that. And at the end of the day, it's not up to the fighters, it's up to the judges.
Exactly.
You know, you win some, you lose some. Sometimes you get a hand. I've been dealt hands where I clearly won fights and I didn't get the nod, you know, but you have to keep at it. You know, when I was an amateur, I had one fight in particular where I felt like, maybe it was a draw, you know. But at the end of the day, that's up to the judges. That's what they get paid to do. I think if anyone gets the blame on anything, maybe people should start looking at the judges and holding them accountable instead of the fighter. You know, because she even said to Eddie Hearn, you know, if people don't think I've deserved to fight, I want a rematch. And that goes to humbleness, humility. Because you have some people that'll be like, well, I won, you know. And she said to Eddie Hearn, you know, was I deserving? If not, let's do the rematch. Who do you know that's going to say that?
Not many.
You know, not many are going to say that. So
you know, it was a good fight. I can't sit there and say it was necessarily a robbery.
Right.
The fight was good. The fight was close. You had two different styles. You had more of a boxer who was composed, and you had a wild person.
Right.
So you know, the crowd's like ooh and on.
Yeah.
You know.
Oohs and ahs.
Yeah.
Katie definitely did her thing. She's been doing it for a while.
And she's bringing exposure to women's boxing.
Yeah.
You know, you have to always put that at the forefront, you know, because a lot of women from back in the 60s, 70s, 80s were never given the opportunity. But, you know, Katie has opened up that door, and she gives thanks to, you know, the pioneers of women boxing, you know, and the Christy Martins, Layla Ali, the Ann Wolf, you know.
I love Ann Wolf.
Oh, what? She's my favorite boxer.
Yeah.
You know,
What do you think if
they paved the way for
Ann
us.
Wolf in her prime fight Clarissa Shields?
That'd be a dog fight, because they're both dogs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're both dogs, so I would pay to see that fight.
Yeah.
Me too.
Two great fighters. I mean, both of them the truth.
Yeah, exactly. So, anything coming up?
Hopefully in August. I'm waiting for somebody to call my name out. You know, don't do the social media whispering. If you want to fight, you want to try and get the belt, come like, hey.
You going for that WBO?
WBO. I want all the weight. I want all the belts in my weight. I appreciate all the women that are out there that are training just as hard as I'm training. You know, it's not easy being a woman, being a boxer. And you know, sometimes on social media, men will say things like, "Oh, they have jobs and they box. They're not full-time boxers." That's not true. I work 10 hours a day. I wake up and train for 2 hours before I do my 10-hour shift at work. And then when I get off of doing 10 hours at work, I go back to the gym for 3 hours. What part of that is not full-time?
Exactly. And not only does she work 10 hours a day, she's a Washington, D.C. cop. She's an officer for Washington, D.C. Just got the 2018 Cop of the Year award in D.C. So she's out there in the community. It's not just a regular job. So she's putting her body and, you know, she's putting herself on the line to protect, you know, a community. So that's, you know, a very big thing to do, and be able to, you know, come in the gym and still do what you do. Put it in, like, how many miles you run a day?
6.
Yeah, 6 miles a day, 2-3 hours in the gym, and you know that speaks in volume of who she is.
And I love to do it. People ask me all the time on the force, when are you gonna put the cups away and just box full time. I'm like, I can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
You know, I love serving the community, and I patrol in one of the worst communities in the District of Columbia. Over Memorial Day weekend, I believe we had 20 shootings over a weekend. You know, where the world was supposed to be celebrating, you know, things that of our fallen, you know, military. And we had 20 shootings that day. So it's not hard, but I love both of them. I cannot have one without the other.
Well, here we go with Tiara Brown, Fat Boxing Show. Y'all check her out. What's your social media?
So most of the time I'm on Instagram. My Instagram name is tbaby125lbs. You follow me, I follow you back. Of course I will. I'm on Facebook, Tiara Brown. I'm on Twitter, but I'm kind of Twitter illiterate. My Twitter name is Tiara Brown Box, and I'm not that good at Twitter, but yeah, I'm on it.
Yo, Marcus Willis,
Devin Jackson.
Tiara Brown.
The Dark Menace.
Y'all follow us, like, share, subscribe, comment. Fat Boxing Show. We out.